Hello everyone, it's Farket here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build an invulnerable treehouse. The good thing about this design is it's completely customizable, meaning you can have it as big as you want or as small as you want. And it all stands on one pillar. It can be a single rock pillar wide, or it can be as big as you want. A single rock wall wide would look a bit funny. Now the reason it's invulnerable is because it uses rock walls, and rock walls cannot be damaged by the enemy. And what makes it invulnerable as well is that it's that high off the ground that they cannot reach it or climb it. And I've tested this quite severely. There is no way they can get up there. Now to do this, it's quite tricky. So I advise that you watch the whole video, as you'll save a lot of time trying to get it working yourself. This can also be put into a guard tower or an outpost, or you could even put your gazebo on top of it, because if you have gazebos on the ground, they can get destroyed. It also cuts the cost of the gazebo by quite a lot. You're not using as many logs for the pillars, so you'll save a lot of logs. Now how I do it, I use a custom platform as a blueprint. This is so I can mark where I want it to go. I recommend you do this with all your buildings. I'm going until it turns into 2 wide, and then I'm changing it back to 1. That way I'm getting it as big as I can and as accurately as square as I can. Once that's done, what you want to do is get a custom wall and place it at one corner and run it over to the other corner. Now this isn't quite wide enough. You need to go to the outside of the post. The reason I do this is it shows me the exact middle of the platform. So then I find the rock wall and I start building the pillar. Now how big you have the pillar is completely up to you. The more rocks it is, the more expensive it will be, but it won't affect its durability. Once you're happy with that, go to the corners and start placing single rock walls. Now don't worry about this, you'll be removing them later on. You just need it to place the custom floor. I've tested this multiple times. I recommend you go 5 or 6 high. 4 is a little too low. If you're struggling to reach, you can use a log cart and fill it up with logs, and it acts like a little elevator. This is a great building to build next to the plane, I found. I thought this would be a good spot for it. It would be a very good first base. It wouldn't be too expensive, and it would be well protected. Now I recommend you do this on a flat surface as much as possible. If it's on a hill, cannibals and mutants might be able to reach the top of the platform. If they can hit the wood that you're going to be placing on it, they will be able to damage it. So once you've gone 5 to 6 high, what you do is you get your custom floor out and you make the starting point from the center of the platform. Always do it from the center one. With rock walls and custom floors, the custom floor will be destroyed if the pillar it's attached to is destroyed. So the first pillar is the one you're keeping, attach it to that. If you don't, this will happen. Now placing the custom platform like this is a bit tricky. It goes on an angle, but don't worry, it barely uses any logs and it won't be your floor pattern. Now if you can't reach the custom floor, use the log cart with the logs on it. This is also really tricky because the custom floors won't cross over each other. So you have to work in like a zigzag shape. Now I struggled to be able to clear it with the hole cutter, so I had to destroy it manually. It took a while. Rock walls are really tough. Now here's a tricky part. What you're going to do is use a platform, not a custom one, and put it right on the edge. I can't stress that enough. It has to be on the edge. If it's too inwards, towards the center of the custom floor, you won't be able to attach a rope to it that will function. It will be stuck through the floor, so when you climb up, it will glitch out. So as you've seen here, it's right on the edge. Once you've built the platform and you've got a rope attached and you're up there, what you want to do now is build a rock wall around it. Now it should place automatically and it should be fine. Though because of the way the floor was placed, you want to remove the center part. A diagonal rock wall will go through the middle of it. You want to remove that. And once that's done, you should be able to use a custom platform. And sometimes it might work automatic, but I think it's best to go and place it manually. I think the cost of this to build the platform on top, all up, would be about 15 logs. I think about 15 logs is all this should cost you. And then once that's done, that's your treehouse. However you do it, it's up to you. Now, what I've done here with my one is I've actually just attached the roof directly to the custom floor, and I made it single high. If I went too high, it looked kind of funny. Looked like a clown's hat or something. And I built fences around it to give it that treehouse look. And it turned out nicely. So I won't have much room, but what I would place in here is my drying rack. Now, I don't know anything about tree houses in this game. I've never liked the idea of them, because cannibals can climb trees and armsies can take down trees. And the idea of setting up a tree house and have it being destroyed would be absolutely horrifying. I'm just not interested in dealing with that. It was too high risk. I found a solution here. When placing the platform on the top, make sure the legs are not sticking on the ground. They'll poke through the bottom like this, but it doesn't affect it. And remember, you can go as big as you want with this. It's completely up to you. I've actually got ideas to implement this as a guard tower. Because the rock walls are immune, you could stick it on a fence, so you could have it accessible on both sides. I'll do a video about it. Now, if you're not experienced with building, this might be a bit difficult. It is quite a frustrating build, but if you follow this guide, it should be made a lot simpler. And remember, if you make it too low, you're gonna have problems. And building on a hill will make it uneven, so you might have problems there as well. But if anything changes in the patches, where they add a ranged cannibal or mutant, this might change the invulnerability of the structure. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Cheers.